15 minutes of racing will be underway, which happens now with a good start from the second row of the grid from Andrew Ruthven, and he is alongside Paul Cook, he's alongside Neil Stratton now as well on the run up towards Ritchie's corner. And Ruthven then will lead into Ritchie's. Fantastic start from him. Another driver, I think, yet to win in the championship. He's been having a really good season though. And then the cars turn their way down towards the Wilson hairpin, where we should see 82 in the lead from fourth on the grid. Then it's Stratton in second, Cook is third, Trainer is fourth, then everybody else follows through at the Wilson hairpin.
Yep, and a little bit of a smoke at the first corner, a bit of lockups perhaps just in the midfield, but everyone makes it through. And yeah, really good start from Ruthven then as he leads the way then from Stratton in second place, and third place on the road then. Looks like Trainer lost out then, so Trainer's running in fourth, and in fact has got damage to the rear of the car then. The rear left-hand bumper seems to be hanging off the back of the car then. Big lock-up from the mid-pack then in towards Agostini then. So yeah, not a cleanish getaway then, and definitely for Trainer, he's got some damage to the rear of his car.
Yeah, that could be problematic, I'd think. Presumably be from contact rather than it not being clipped on properly before the race. So Ruthven, the leader, runs a little bit wide. Can we get a first-time winner out of this race? The driver from the West Midlands, who raced in Mini 7s in the past, about a decade and a half ago or so, in this 1992 Toyota MR2 Mark II that's run by Panther Sport. It's got a Hurley engineering engine powering that car. Big jink out there from the championship leader Adam Lockwood, because Neil Stratton's lost a load of places, hasn't he? So Paul Cook's up to second, Sean Trainer's up to third. Adam Lockwood also passes Neil Stratton. Not sure what happened to Stratton there. He was second, he's now fifth.
Yep, so Neil Stratton dropping down slightly then through the order, and we just see that rear damage to the left-hand side of the rear bumper there. Not good news then for Sean Trainer. I mean, he will press on. He might not even know there's a bit of damage there. He might see that the car's slightly wider out of his left-hand side wing mirror, so he might know that the damage is there, but as long as it's not rubbing on the tyres, he's going to carry on.
Yeah, unless he's told otherwise, that's certainly what he shall be doing. But it's the Mark IIs in the top two positions at this stage, with Ruthven leading. Second is Cook. Trainer in the Roadster is third, chased by Adam Lockwood. It's probably going to be a bit more draggy Trainer's car now as well, but that won't slow him down if he can help it. Oh, Ruthven wide out there and then has to defend heavily down towards the hairpin. Don't think Paul Cook's been able to get anything out of that. He hasn't. Then you've got Trainer, Lockwood, Stratton, and Sam Harper also in this lead battle, so he's going well too.
Yeah, it's almost like Sean Trainer down the centre straight. It was almost like there was a parachute at the back of his car. That's how much drag that bumper seems to be causing at the moment. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, but that is going to be frustrating for Trainer. It's probably a case that it might just be quicker to see if he can rip off that rear bumper, because it's obviously causing a lot of drag down the straight, and that won't help him when he wants to try and make an overtaking move and opportunity there. As we watch on the number 31, that's Ben Rowe, who was at the pointy end of the field in the last race, looking to try and find his way through the order. He's currently ninth right now.
Also, just behind him, Danny Bryant, who, if you remember earlier, led very briefly in race one and had that big moment at the hairpin, dropped to the back, and now is a top 10 runner once more. But the lead battle, that's very much on. Andrew Ruthven, who I don't think really saw much of Andy on the podium in the MR2 Championship before this season, although he has won the Class B title in the past. But he is right there as the leader overall today, with Paul Cook in second, Sean Trainer there in third. Right behind, with his championship rival Adam Lockwood in his World Tracks in fourth, with Neil Stratton and Sam Harper also in the lead battle. Then there's a gap back to Veer Aldridge, who's the best of the rest in 65. But we're coming to the end of the second of what should be a 7-lap race in this sixth round of the Toyota MR2 Championship, with this great lead battle headed into the final corner.
Absolutely, as Ruthven tries. Oh, Ruthven's run wide then on the exit of Murray's, and that's allowed Paul Cook to slip his way through. Not only that, but Sean Trainer moves across onto the left-hand side. Ruthven picks up a bit of grass then on the pit lane entry, but that little bit of bumper that's dragging behind Trainer might be costing him more then, because looking down the inside inside is Adam Lockwood then going in towards Richards. He gets up the inside, but he can't quite do it. Has to back out of that opportunity. But Sean Traynor here, this will be hugely frustrating for him because he won't have the same top end as he has been in the last race. He has to try and go defensive in towards the inside, going through in towards Wilson. Round the outside goes Adam Lockwood, but again, there's no space for him to put the car. He has to back out of it on this occasion, but Andrew Ruthven almost handing over that lead to Paul Cook at the moment.
Yeah, he'd be really disappointed, I should think, with that small error that allowed Paul Cook, a multiple winner, to go through, and Sean Traynor trying ever so hard to get past with that bumper that's getting further and further away. He's just not as quick at the end of the straight, so Adam Lockwood will go through round the outside. There's a touch though, and Neil Stratton tries to come round the outside of the pair of them. So the three roadsters right together, but Lockwood then, the championship leader, goes through. He reclaims that top spot in the roadster division with Traynor behind. Then Stratton, the fastest lap of the whole race, has gone to Ben Rowe, who's in 9th place at 2 minutes 20.7. So Ben Rowe trying to make further progress while all those leaders were battling. But now Paul Cook getting away. There's Veer Aldridge, who has Ben Rowe behind him. Ben Rowe, who's already passed Jim Mew on this lap and would quite like another position before the lap is done. He
would indeed, and would he get a chance to do it down the Bentley Straight? We will have to wait and see. Meanwhile then, our leaders are making their way towards Brundle and Nelson, and there's a good battle going on further behind, because you've got the battle for 4th place, 5th place, Harper and Stratton battling away for position as they make their way through. In fact, now Sean Traynor has dropped down behind Lockwood, and Stratton will look to see if he can try and find his way past. So Traynor down to 4th then, with Stratton in 5th, Harper in 6th then, as they're all making their way through in towards Coram and then down towards Murray's.
Seems to be more and more cars lined up in this group now behind Ruth then, but immediately behind him is Lockwood, the champion from last year. Up across the line they come to complete 3 laps. Paul Cook sets the fastest lap as he pulls away. The aimshot.com fastest lap at 2 minutes 20.216, and he leads by 9 seconds over Andrew Ruthven, and then Adam Lockwood in 3rd. Traynor is 4th. There's Rowe. He's gained another one. It didn't quite happen on the previous lap. At the start of lap 4, he goes through. Jim Mew's up the grass, up the curb. He slides back onto the circuit. He remains in the position he would, and then breaks really, really late at the next corner, as does Danny Bryant, and they go either side of Veer Aldridge, who must have wondered where their braking point came from, because they both passed him on either side.
Well, Jim Mew ran a little bit wide then, and that's opened up an opportunity for Timothy Heron to try and find his way. He'll have to go the long way around, Will Heron, going through in towards Palmer, but he's still hanging on in there. Again, he'll have the outside line going towards Agostini. And still, they run side by side. Just behind that battle then, who's going to be later on the brakes? It looked like Jim by just a fraction there, as the 78 then looks to go up the inside. Jim Mew getting the power down, but running a little bit wide then. And again, that allows Timothy Heron to try and go up the inside now, going in towards the left-hander of Hamilton, which he has done. So that is the number 9 upper position then. Timothy Heron ahead now of Jim Mew.
So that's plenty of battling going on at the sort of at the end and just outside of the top 10. Tim Heron's been racing in the MR2 Championship for years, massively experienced in the category. So he's got himself up ahead of Jim Mew with 6 minutes just over on the clock. It should be a 7-lap race. And for the lead, Paul Cook now has Adam Lockwood behind him. So Lockwood's got past Ruthven and has immediately caught Paul Cook. So this has happened all of a sudden. So Adam Lockwood, who has won 3 times this season, the championship leader, the reigning champion. He'd never won a race before October last year, and he's only lost a couple ever since that first win. Included in the race earlier, but he'd quite like to get back on top. And Paul Cook, he probably hasn't raced against huge amounts, because Paul hasn't raced in the championship for a couple of years or so. And Sean Traynor, the driver who's battling with Lockwood in the championship, is getting a black and orange mechanical flag, which requires him to come into the pit lane. I wondered if that might happen when we saw that bumper starting to trail his MR2.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so that's going to be, he has to respond to that by pitting in to fix the issue. at hand, as that's Ben Rowe looking to see if he can find a way past there, the number 24 of Sam Harper. So Sam Harper able to defend from that one. Leaders now make their way out of Wilson, and that's not the best exit there for Paul Cook, and he's going to have Adam Lockwood all over the back of him as we head our way through in towards Palmer now. And the top two starting to break away a little bit then. Ruthven getting away from Trainer, and Sean Trainer has to visit the pit lane with that mechanical. Although looking at the back bumper doesn't seem to be as much of an issue right now, but the mechanical flag has already gone out, so he has to respond to it. Battle for the lead though, Paul Cook versus Adam Lockwood. Paul Cook trying to exit now out of Agostini as we'll head our way through in towards Hamilton, the flying left-hander, and then follows Oggies and Williams as they make their way through now.
The mechanical flag's been put away, but as you say, Trainer's been seen it once. I'm not really sure what happens now, to be quite honest. Oh, Lockwood's off. The championship leader's all over the grass. He kept his foot in. He lost about 1/10 of a second in all of that. He was rally crossing at high speed there out of Oggie's corner. And he's still on terms then with Paul Cook. He set the fastest lap last time, did Lockwood, 2:19.43. Oh, yeah, Train's bumper's still trailing a bit, isn't it? But I don't really know how it was kind of more reattached than it was a little bit earlier.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey-ho, that's motorsport. Paul Cook then holding on to the lead against Adam Lockwood, but that moment then has allowed Andrew Ruthven to close up slightly, going through now in towards the bomb hole, as we have just over 3.5 minutes left of the race to run. Yeah, the bumper still is a little detached on the left-hand side, so he will probably still need to respond to that mechanical, as our leaders now make their way through in towards Coram, now down in towards Murray's, and a really important corner to get absolutely spot on. Both drivers looks like they nailed that apex then as they make their way on towards the centre straight.
So in the slipstream is Lockwood. It's in the slipstream very much able to go with the Mark II, so much so he's going to be challenging perhaps up towards Ritchie's, not quite. He's able to live with the Mark II in the tow, but not quite draw alongside. But it's a more nimble car, the Roadster, so can Adam Lockwood find a way through? Cook knows it. He defends immediately down to the Wilson hairpin. This is the penultimate lap of the race, and Lockwood is running out of time to find a way through. Behind Andrew Ruthven is still there in third. Sean Trainer in fourth, continued on. And then Neil Stratton in fifth, ruined whatever happened to him a couple of laps ago. And then Sam Harper completes the top six in this MR2 championship race. I
was going to say at the moment, but Ben Rowe is all over the back of him. So too is the number 69, Dan Bryant, as they're making their way now down in towards the left-hander of Palmer, and Ben Rowe is now ahead as they make their way down towards Agostini. So nice move there, nicely done, as they'll head their way now on towards Hamilton. And yeah, it's a great battle between them. We see Sean Trader's rear bumper still flailing about, but there's Ben Rowe, who's now made the move on Sam Harper for sixth place.
So the leaders out of Oggies. This is where Lockwood went grass tracking a lap ago. He keeps it on the right part of the circuit this time. There's Ruthven. There's Trainer, who's got sort of that earlier mechanical flag overhanging his race, but it did get put away.
Yeah, so normally you'd get shown it again. If you missed it the first time, you get a second chance, basically, and it hasn't been displayed a second time. Meanwhile, then our leaders then, as Adam Lockwood goes one way, then tries the other. Paul Cook, is that a little bit of a lock-up for him? Yes, it is. He spins the car around and out of Brundle. Then he manages to keep it out of the wall, but Adam Lockwood gets that position up there, and Paul Cook will be absolutely livid with himself for that.
I spun a car there, I know what that feels like, although Paul Cook recovered it probably quicker than I did. Paul Cook then down to, fifth position, big shame for him, but it shows you how much pressure he was under. He was having to brake so late, he locked the rear brakes, and through Brundle you have to keep slowing the car down, and the rear end of the car just overtook the front, and then everybody else had to hop over the curb, didn't they, to avoid him. And that means the gap between Adam Lockwood and Andrew Ruthven, it's closer now, but we know Lockwood is pretty quick, and he's got one lap to go as they cross the line. The gap just 4/10. So can Ruthven get this first win of his career? He looks up the inside, big bold move into Ritchie's corner, but he did back out of it in the end, and you'd think that might compromise his line out of the corner. Well, maybe not. He's still having a go, I reckon, at Adam Lockwood, but no, he has to brake earlier in that older, heavier Mark II. That was a really good effort. Oh, and now he's been tagged by a Trainer, which got him a bit sideways. So that was all a bit busy for a couple of corners.
It was indeed, but yeah, Ruthven maybe looking for a move down the inside in towards Richie's there. If you don't get that move done, you have to back out and you lose momentum there, which is absolutely not what you want. Ruthven looking to keep ahead now of Sean Trainer, looking to go defensive now in towards Agostini. Yeah, holding that inside line, Sean Trainer will have to go the long way round. Neil Stratton also looking for a late opportunity to try and get himself onto a podium finish position. Adam Lockwood trying to run away with this now in towards Hamilton, with Ruthven, Trainer and Stratton following behind.
So the final lap of the day for the Toyota MR2 Championship, down into the right-handed, the double apex to Oogie's corner, and then up to the right-hander that takes us onto the Bentley Straight, which is Williams. And then they will accelerate up a gear. Down the back straight they go, and for Adam Lockwood, looking for win number 4 of the season. He's won at every venue so far. He won at Brands Hatch and at Silverstone too, and it looks like he might take one at Snetterton. But we saw a lap ago how easy it is to make a mistake, which we saw out of Paul Cook on the previous point of the race, and Trainer again gets really close at that point into Nelson to the back of Ruthven. But I think they held him up a little bit and has brought Neil Stratton closer to him. Stratton, who was on the podium at Brands Hatch, hasn't been since. He's close to it in this one, but he's only got one further corner to try and make a place. Trainer's carrying loads of speed here. Is he going to have a go at Ruthven into the final corner? I don't think he is. Has he got the exit speed? I doubt it. So none of that a worry for Adam Lockwood, who's going to take the checkered flag first and win the Toyota MR2 Championship. But Sean Trainer has got a good run for second place, and he draws up alongside Andy Ruthven. It's pretty much a dead heat. Who gets it? According to our timekeepers, TSL, it's Andy Ruthven that has it by 26 thousandths of a second. One of the closest winning position margins we've had over the course of the weekend. Sean Trainer was third then, although with that question mark over his race, but perhaps he's okay. Neil Stratton is fourth. Paul Cook took fifth. Ben Rowan sixth. He got past Sam Harper, as Kieran described, with a couple of laps to go. Danny Bryant was eighth. Jim Mew ninth, with Tim Heron in 10th. Darren Aldworth was 11th. Veer Aldridge, who was well up at one point, was 12th. Gareth Aldworth took 13th. 14th for Andrew Baranowski. In 15th was Neil Hurren. In 16th, the Ukrainian was Sergei Bylev. 17th will go the way of Daniel Farmer. Andrew Strange will be 18th. 19th will be Simon Quinn. And 20th goes the way of Andy Williams, as the rest of the field flow through to complete the second race of the day for the Toyota MR2 Championship here at Snetterton. Adam Lockwood scores maximum points. He wins and gets the fastest lap with a 2 minutes 19.433. We only lost one car in that race. Aaron Laverty retired with a couple to go. Everyone else taking the checkered flag. Let's take a look at those results. After 7 laps, it was Adam Lockwood who won by 1.9 seconds over Andrew Ruthven. Sean Trainer was third and Neil Stratton fourth. Paul Cook in fifth and Ben Rose sixth. Danny Bryant, Jim Mew, Tim Heron and Darren Aldworth completed the top 10. Sam Harper, perhaps with a penalty, takes 11th. Veer Aldridge was 12th with Gavin Aldworth and Andrew Baranowski 14th. Neil Hurren, Sergei Bylev, Daniel Farmer, Andrew Strange, Simon Quinn, Andy Williams, Eddie O'Kane, Maxine Nichols, Nick Lear, Richard Dales, Jason Crossley, Patrick Stone and Martin Collins were all finishers too, with just that one retirement for Aaron Laverty in the Toyota MR2 Championship. The top 3 are already in Parc Ferme and quickly getting out of their cars, obviously keen to have a word with Kieran Mogg, who's also down there, ready to have a chat.
We're down here in Parc Ferme with our top 3, and we're going to take a quick chat with Adam Lockwood. Do apologise. Adam, we spoke earlier. You said you might go for the win. You got it.
I did. Yes. Yeah. Somehow I threw Paul a dummy down the back there, and he kind of fell for it and spun out.
Well, that's how you apply pressure.
Yeah. I was really trying for the pressure, and it did actually work in the end. And yeah, I mean he's quite an experienced guy, but yeah, sometimes it just works. So.
We got the better of him today. So how's the track conditions been? Obviously, with it's cooling down a little bit now, how have you found the track?
Yeah, I mean it's actually better than the last race. Definitely more grip. Times are up a little bit, so I wasn't really struggling that much on that one. Everything felt perfect for a change.
It's a perfect way to end the weekend. So congratulations.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Now we're going to quickly speak to Andrew Ruthven. Andrew, that was very, very tight at the end. I think 2/100ths of a second you got second by. So
third gear coming out the last corner, so it wouldn't go in. Well, no, I crunched it a bit, so yeah, that was my fault. It should have been a bit clearer than that. But
you also nearly had a look at the lead as well. Like
it's that corner, that last one. I just go in too hot every time, too keen to get through it and get out, and I was in the lead and just threw it away really. But a nice bit of drifting.
That's always good experience, yes. But overall, how have you found the weekend?
Very good, yeah. Race 1 I had a bit of understeer, so we changed the front roll bar settings on it, and yeah, it was much better that time, so I could keep up with these guys a bit easier.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the second place.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you very much. And now we're going to speak to Sean Trainer, a regular in the top 3. We've spoken a fair few times, and quite a few of them have been second or third.
Yeah. I've got to sort some engine issues out really, and a few other issues. I've got a few issues with the car really. We come up Saturday and thought I didn't have a chance to test, so we went out in the road sports. After the second lap, blew the gearbox. So we changed the gearbox before the race yesterday, and it's better than the one we took out, but not a great deal better. So I'm struggling a little bit, and we put a new engine in as well last week, and that's burning oil. So it's. I need to get me. I won't swear, but I need to get my act together a bit.
It's a race car doing race car things.
Yeah.
Exactly. But other than that, I mean, like you've had 2 podiums today alone, so you come away with some good results at least.
Yeah. Well, at one point I got a bit scared at one point because I come across the line and I saw a black and orange flag and I saw a 7, but I couldn't work out what the first number was. So I thought when I come around again, I'm thinking please don't bit. And then I come through and it wasn't on. I just said to Adam about it, and he said, well, your bumper was a bit loose, but I think they must have. If it was for me, they must have pulled it back in.
It was for you,
oh, was it?
But they pulled it in after a lap.
Oh right, I saw it. All I saw was the 7. And I thought, is that me? And then I thought I'll come past again. I'm not just going to pull in yet. So I come past again, and it was all gone. So I thought, well. Well, then I thought it wasn't me, and Adam said your bumper's nearly coming off down the straight. So
I think it must have like clipped itself back on or something,
right.
Because basically it was hanging off really badly, and then it was not as bad
right.
after that. Once they'd already given you the flag, then it wasn't as bad. So at least you managed to finish the race. Yeah.
Well, that's an upside. So to be fair, I think it was damage limitations this weekend. I love Cadwell. That's our next round, so I'll try and make sure it's all ready for that and see what I can do there.
Absolutely. Well, good luck for that one then.
Kickstart this season back off.
Absolutely. Well, good luck then.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Now, we've got MX5s coming up next, so Josh, Kieran, take a breath, because it's about to get crazy.